Hi guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while. I've been busy. I've had a birthday that came up and work and just different things that's come up, so it's been a while. So welcome back. As you can see, I got Kiwi with me today. So he's going to be helping me out today, sitting here entertaining you guys while I'm telling the story. So first of all, I just want to let you know that the story that we're going to be covering is going to be in two separate videos because there's just so much information out there on this case that we're going to be covering that I'm going to just go ahead and split it up into two different videos. So, oh, and the cat's going to join us too, it looks like. Okay, so first of all, I just want to let you know that the story that we're going to cover is Jeffrey Dahmer, and I'm sure everybody, or most people's heard of who Jeffrey Dahmer is. And you may not know the details of what he did, you know, the things that he did. He did kill 17 people, and we'll go into more detail about that later. I'm just going to kind of start out with his earlier years and cover some things, and then in the second video we'll actually cover the murders and different things that he did. But we're going to start off with just going over his childhood and stuff. So we'll be doing that in two videos. And I'm not going to redo a review with this story because it is so long. And I apologize if the bird, the parrot, gets a little loud. So, okay, so, sorry. Trying to get him. He was trying to chew. But we'll get started. Okay, so in this video, I do need to give a disclaimer for this video. There is some talk of animal abuse and some just graphic details about animal carcass and different things. So this video is not real too bad. The next video will be rather worse. Okay, so Jeffrey Dahmer. Let's talk about him. Jeffrey Dahmer was born May 21st of 1960. And he was born and lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And he is the son to Lionel and Joyce Dahmer. Now, Lionel is a chemistry student. He was going to school for chemistry. And it said that, you know, Dahmer or Jeff didn't get a whole lot of attention from his parents because, well, his dad was a student, and so he was constantly busy with homework and going to classes and different things like that because, you know, he's trying to go and get a degree, and that way he could get a really good job and take care of his family and, you know, support them really well. Now, Jeff's mom, she suffered from really bad depression and things, and just Jeff went his whole life without having a whole lot of attention to his mom. Like, his mom tried to commit suicide and different things, so she suffered really bad from depression and anxiety, and she was a hypochondriac and different things. So he never got a whole lot of attention from his mom. Now, Jeff, it said that in his younger childhood that he was just very happy, would talk, you know, very social, just a very happy child. And then at age 4, he had to have surgery on a double hernia. And after that, he just completely changed. He became quiet, isolated. He was kind of a loner. So he didn't really try to make friends and everything. And he even in grade school, he had a teacher even note on his reports, his school reports, about him being self-isolated, you know, a loner, quiet, timid, that kind of thing. And she also noted that he shows signs of abandonment issues during grade school. It said also that during his childhood, that anytime that his dad did have any free time, that the mom would demand that she give all the attention to her and would argue, just find little things to argue with him about. So Jeff's parents was constantly arguing and fighting, and so he constantly grew up around, you know, arguments and fights and that kind of thing. Now, Jeff, from an early age on, early childhood, he showed or developed an interest in dead things. And he started off by collecting dragonflies, like large insects, dragonflies, butterflies, things of that nature. And he would actually store them in mason jars and study, like, just study them and take them apart and different things, and then store them in those jars. So from early on, he started showing interest in the dead. October of 1966, the family moved to Doylestown, Ohio, and there Lionel actually got his degree for chemist, and he actually started working as a chemist in Akron, Ohio. And in 1968, the family moved to Bath Township, Ohio. That's in Summit County, and there they bought a home, and they stayed, you know, we're going to be there for a while. They stayed there for a while. Now, about 2 years after moving there, the family was sitting down having a dinner with chicken, and Jeff actually asked Lionel what would happen if he took the bones from the chicken and put them in bleach. Now, this made Lionel feel proud and excited because Jeff was actually showing an interest in chemistry, which is what he did. So he thought he was just going to try to follow in his footsteps. So that made him feel really proud. And so he actually took Jeff and did a demonstration on how to properly use bleach to preserve the bones of the chicken. So he showed Jeff how to use, you know, chemicals and bleach and things, how to preserve those bones, because he thought he was just showing an interest in chemistry. Can I help you? So that made him proud, because he thought he was trying to follow in his footsteps, and he showed him that. Now, in about 7th grade, at the age of 14, Dahmer would ride the bus to school every day, and every day he would see this guy that was jogged down the road, and he would see him on the way, you know, home or to school. It didn't really say, but it just mentioned, I'm assuming it was on the way to school or after school, probably after school, but he'd see the same guy jogging down the road. And at this point, he got an interest in the guy. He was attracted to him, and he realized that he was gay. There was an incident that's mentioned in a book that I'm going to tell you about, and it's a comic book, and there's actually a movie based off of it. It's called My Friend Dahmer, and actually one of Jeff's friends that he was friends with in school, all through middle school and high school, they met in 7th grade, wrote this book. Now, and his name was Backdorf. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But him and about 3 other boys was Dahmer's only friends. And Dahmer was kind of, at this point, he just did stuff to make people laugh and try to just get attention at this age. And they actually created like a Dahmer fan club, because he would make people laugh. And they would just get him to do things during school just to get people to laugh. And that was the only friends that Dahmer had. Now, in this book, they mention about Dahmer. He would, I guess his interest turned to like roadkill. So he would collect roadkill off the side of the road, dead animals, and he would take them back to his home, and he would actually dissect them and cut them apart and like store them in mason jars with different chemicals and things to preserve them. And even in the book, it mentions that Jeff took a pig like a little baby pig embryo that they had to dissect at school. He snuck that out of the school and put that in one of the jars that he stored the animal parts in, and actually kept that. Now, another mention in this book is, along with those things. Another thing that happened was when Jeff was 14, the jogger, you remember I mentioned the jogger, he actually took a baseball bat, and hid in the woods and waited for this jogger to go by. And he was actually going to, like, hit him with the baseball bat and knock him out, and just lay there with him and hold him, because he was obsessed with him. And luckily, the jogger never come by that day, and Jeff just got mad and just hit the trees and stuff. And it said that Jeff actually on that day got a live dog. Instead of finding roadkill, he actually got this live dog, and he decapitated this dog, and he dissected it, cut it open in the middle, and kind of nailed that part to a tree, and then took the dog's head and stuck it on a cross and just left it in the woods beside the road. It said that, Durf, in his book that he wrote about Dahmer, said that, the more the more that Dahmer would do, and the more things that Dahmer would do to act out, they just kind of distanced themselves from him. Because Dahmer also, at the age of 14, started drinking really heavily. He would sneak alcohol and different things in his coat and book bag and drink at school, and he was getting really bad. So they just kind of distanced themselves. But they stayed friends with him throughout all school, all high school and stuff, even though they distanced themselves from him. And they recall that after they graduated, they recalled an incident in 1978. I'll go into the incident here in a little bit that was recalled in the book. Jeff graduated from high school in 1978. Now, by that time, Joyce and Lionel had divorced because they just fought all the time. And actually, Joyce had taken David, their other son, and had moved in with some family. So Jeff was living by himself in the home, and at the age of 18. And actually, right after they graduated is when Jeff made his first kill, when he murdered the first person. And I'll go into that more in the next book, the next video. But he was living there by himself, and this is the last thing that Durf recalls, and the last time that they seen Jeff. Jeff had already made his first kill. He'd already murdered his first person, and they come by several months after graduation and visited him at the home, and they said that Jeff was just quiet, didn't really talk, just acted sad and depressed, and just kind of sit there kind of zombie-like, and just didn't have no motivation. And that was the last time that they seen him, because after that he went on his killing spree. He moved back to Wisconsin, and that's when he went on the big killing spree. So that was the last time that they seen him. And not realizing when they were there, he had already killed his first victim, and that the victim's body was already there on the property. I will, in the comments below, I'll put a link to the actual movie, My Friend Dahmer, and I will put a link to a reading of the My Friend Dahmer book that gets read. There's a link that you can actually listen to that being read. It's a comic book, but it's just Jeff from an very early age showed signs of something being wrong. And then, like I said, in my next video, I am going to go into the detail of his crimes and cover all that. There was just so much information that I had to split it into 2 videos. So just let me know down below what you think about his upbringing. If, you know, you think that maybe where that he didn't get attention, the abandonment issues, how that you think that affected him and his mental health. And as always, if there's a case that you would like me to cover, please comment that down below. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.